We have a video full of vintage televisions, vintage radios, some modern stuff, test equipment, and these are all barn finds. These came out of a barn that was part of an estate a friend of mine found. So we're going to go through all of this today and sort of do a kind of a quick assessment on this stuff, take a look at it. This is all older stuff, a lot older than I usually work on, a lot of 30s and 40s stuff. I'm going to be referencing Bob Anderson over at the channel B Anderson TV probably quite a bit, because this is a lot of the stuff that he works on, he's passionate about. He does complete restores on this stuff, and I hope to get some of this over to him after we do resurrections, because I love to do resurrections. So I'm going to start with something in the front. This is a Norelco Duo View, and this is like an early projection type adapter. So you would set your vintage TV up here, and this will connect to the TV and project. We'll take a look in the back, but it'll project out the back onto the wall. At least I think that's what it does. Now this needs a ride from Los Angeles to the Chicago area, because I would really like to give this to Bob. I really don't have a use for this, so if you're making that trek and you can give this a ride, let me know. He did a video featuring, and his is different. His is not this type of wood. It's plywood and it's delaminating. This is a much nicer cabinet. This is like hardwood. And we'll take a look at the bottom. Here's the back, and this is the part that projects on the wall, and it uses a little tiny CRT that is in there. That's the high voltage supply. It's a model PA-2A. This stuff all coming out of a barn is got a lot of rodent damage. And so this connects to a TV. Yeah, this needs... The cabinet's in good shape, though, other than the that. Now, this is plywood. The wheels are all in really good shape, and the wood is in really good shape. This stuff was kept dry. You look in here, you can see the little CRT there. See it? This has got a bunch of mirrors in it. It looks clean inside there. Looks like this was sealed. Yeah, it was a little tiny, I don't know, 2.5, 3-inch CRT. All right, next. 5-inch deluxe portable black and white TVs. This is like something they would have sold at the truck stop. Are these even worth doing a video on? Sounds like we have loose pieces. Missing plates that have fallen off. They do have an AM/FM radio. But yeah, all the little plates that have come unglued. Like this one's missing the plastic. This one has it. Someone actually wanted $10 for these. Maybe when analog was still on the air. We could fire one of these up and test it out in the desert, see how sensitive it is, see how it compares to an older set I did a video on like this. Next, this is an absolute thing of beauty right here, in such remarkable pristine condition. This is going to get resurrected. I will do a video on this. This is 1937 General Electric, but I'm not sure if it was made by RCA or RCA had the same thing. It was an RCA model R5. And this is a regenerative set. This one is a General Electric T12, but the schematics all say it's the same as I believe it's a RCA R5. And this is a 120 volt set. There was a DC farm radio version of this. This one has the power transformer. So 120 volts, 65 watts, 4-tube, regenerative. So yeah, we're going to resurrect this and make this play again. A correction, this little beauty is from 1931. So it's getting close to 100 years old. And this seems to be sort of a rare set. I don't find a lot of these popping up online. There's not a lot of websites and stuff that show restoring these. So this is a little beauty. Now, this is more my style right here. This is a Zenith all-channel portable black and white 12, 13 inch. I think Jordan Piertis did a video on one of these yesterday, and the CRT was a little tired on his. We need to open this up. I need to get the CRT tester. We need to start opening these and seeing what condition they're in on the inside. So this is exactly the same as the one that Jordan just did a video on. I mean, it looks... And he talked about this glue getting acidic and eating the coils up. I don't see that, but it's so damn dirty that it's hard to tell. See if I can get a number off of this CRT and we'll test it. It only had 2 screws in it, so I'm going to assume that it either has a problem or who knows. Looks kind of original in here. Let me figure out the CRT. 12 BEP4. So you want 70 volts here. We want 6.3 here. And go. Nothing, no lights on here. Set cutoff. Doesn't look like anybody's home. Now I see it. It's extremely dark. Oh, here it comes. Well, this might be gassy because the cutoff is higher than the actual test. That's the cutoff. That's the actual test. So I don't know. And it's the filament's very dim, like I can barely see it. So it might have some air in it. Not getting off to a good start here. Here's the flyback area, and this looks like what it looks like. This is a Matsushita tube from 73. Letting it bake for a while, and then setting the cutoff where it should be set. Oh, it's waking up a little bit. But this is still the result. Would that produce a picture? Yes. That would produce a picture. we will get to this at some point in the future, but I'm going to mark it as weak. This one I think crosses into new territory for me, which is bird scat. Running down and down the controls in the back. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we have the Pigeon Lovers Special here. The Pigeon Lovers Special platter. It's a 13M15. Flavor country. This is a 1937 low-cost oscilloscope, and there's a whole web page devoted to this thing. It's a 1-inch CRT, and oscillograph. And I would really like to see this work. I don't know really what you could do with it, but it was something very awesome when it was built, or when it was new. And the website does say that it's very difficult to work on. It almost looks like this is an access panel for something. That was brilliant. Oh, something. You know, the thing. Wow, someone had a price of $250 on what? Really? We got another access panel there, but it's got 5 tubes in it. And yeah, I'd like to resurrect this. I'd like to see this work. Yeah, I really don't know what you could see on it, but it definitely is a testament to how far technology has come in almost 100 years. Imagine that. Oscilloscope Museum. Ooh, $50. 1937. Still meant about half of an average month's salary for that. This is an absolute beauty right here. This is a Philco. And yes, it has that bonus added barn. It's too bad the cabinet's a little bit screwed up. It's probably worth restoring the cabinet. And it has the back, which we need to remove and look at the guts. This takes a 7-inch CRT, and this one is spectacular on the inside. Yeah, I'll take the Rodent Lovers platter with the fecal sprinkles and a side of urine drizzler glaze sauce, please. This is a Philco model. So this is a Philco 50T702, 7-inch. It's not worth testing. I'm going to assume this is like a 7JP4. It's not worth testing it because the way these things fail is the lack of ion trap burns the phosphor off. So testing the emissions on a 7-inch CRT is not worth it. But yeah, this would need a lot of cleanup. This would need a lot of cleanup. Try and see if I can dial in on this a little bit closer. I mean, that is packed glaze. Well, it's all there. guess I could say that for it. And a little extra. Look at this. I don't know if I'll be able to get in on it, but there is a full-on nest up here, up in the front. There you go. That's a better view of it. That's as deep as the high voltage cage, that nest. Here's a very lightweight little Sears black and white portable. None of these are in very good shape. Again, most of the screws are missing. The cord is missing. Let's get her open. It's a model 5004, chassis number 564.80100, 100 watts, so it has to be tube. Just happily blowing in the breeze. This almost looks Admiral to me. It's made in Taiwan, and I've seen this high voltage rectifier tube thing in Admiral. Not that Admiral actually made them, they were Taiwan, but do not use ion trap. Duh. No tube chart. It's missing, and I can't read whatever number this was. I don't know. And I'm not going to try and test this without... I'm not going to try and test this without knowing what tube it is. We'll just say, yeah, when I get lonely and I need a resurrection, we'll do the Sears. You see one quick and dirty repair on it right here. So, probably not in very good shape. Kinda high hour. Another piece of test equipment. This is a RCA Rider Channelist. So I believe what this is this is like a early AM radio alignment tool. The reason why I grabbed this is the eye tubes. I don't know if I would ever use this for anything except pulling the eye tubes out and using them in something else, but who knows. So this is your, goes from what, 96 kilohertz up to 1700, and over here, what does this do? I don't know. RFIF oscillator. So this looks like this goes up to 15 megahertz, is that right? These are kind of modern screws. Should we open this? It's a lot of screws to take out. Wonder what they are. Wonder if they're 6E5s. They are 6E5. I believe that's what my capacitor tester uses. Let's look at the bottom here. Oh yeah. Way to just parallel an electrolytic. Wow, look at all the trimmers. This was not cheap. Just what I love, a bunch of unreliable, leaky wax paper capacitors in my test equipment. Drift-o-matic How can you get the subject item working properly when the test equipment's unreliable and unstable? That's why I think most of us that work on this stuff use modern test equipment. Oh, that must have been soldered to there and it came off. Interesting. It definitely has some hours on it. Look at that. So who knows if these eye tubes are any good. I could test them in the T7 or whatever that military tube tester is I have. It'll actually light them up. Here's a collection of screws that were holding this thing together. That's pretty multi. This is a very early Packard Bell, and it's a chassis 2297, and this is definitely another scat lovers special. In fact, this one comes with the samples already out of the chassis. So, yeah. Hey, here's a look at the front. Complete with branches. Looking at the inside, it's probably a 12 LP4 right there, I would guess. If you could ever smell a picture, it would be that right there. Looks like that capacitor's been replaced, actually. Isn't that a Mallory cap? It certainly is. Another super high hour. Yeah, this smells very spicy. And there's some of the fecal corns right there. Oh, looks like we have a free tube socket here. 8-pin ceramic. I could use that. Hopefully it'll clean up. Soak it in peroxide for about a week. Interesting. Dimension mill, and so the cabinet was built by these people. And the chassis, I wonder if you could buy the chassis or the cabinet separate. Probably. The freaking rodents ate the damn tube chart. Well, let's test this. And I'm going to guess it's a 12 LP4 just by looking at it. All right, we only want 50 volts on the G1 for this tube. 6.3, that sure seems kind of high. I'm going to pull it off here. Oh yeah, the filament is not open. Okay. Not very high hopes for this, by the way. Oh yeah. Doesn't look real discolored. I want to let it bake for a minute. Well, this is a hot one, guys. Look at that. Look at how hot that is. That's your cutoff. That's your emissions. This one's cooking. Gonna have to wear sunglasses when we watch this one. There's really not much redeemable about this set right here. And I guess the wheels still work. Having a look at the schematic for this crappy Packard Bell, it actually is a very early set for them. This is like the second year they made sets. And it's actually fairly simple. This would be an easy one to get going. It uses the more modern audio. And yeah, it just uses a 12 LP4. Yeah, this is pretty standard for as early as this was. This should be an easy one to get to working, really. The Packard Bell 2297 Deluxe. And I think this one here has leaky diaper syndrome, where the drizzlers actually like drizzled through the chassis and got, yeah, that's the problem with this stuff, you know. I mean, it just washes off. It just got a few hors d'oeuvres right there. It just washes off pretty much, but it's corrosive to metal. That's sort of the problem. This is sort of a beauty, actually. This is Crosley, but it's like a Raytheon, I believe. Maybe it's made by Raytheon. Isn't that supposed to be an eye tube right there? So this looks like it does FM, the FM band. It's got the well-ventilated speaker. Focus on the front. This is probably worth restoring. This one's kind of interesting that it's got new shiny screws holding the back on. It looks pretty complete. Except I wonder where the let's get some light in here. Gotta show that right there. That's the corrosive. That's the glaze getting corrosive. Completely. And I think a lot of people would find the smell of this sort of a turn off. They wouldn't want to work on this because of the way it smells. It doesn't bother me one bit, but I can see where. And that's the other problem with these rodents, you know, they chew up all the wiring. What the hell is this? The high voltage? Why do we need 3 feet of? And what's that splice in the high voltage? We got more. See what this looks like in here. I don't want to break that. I don't want to break that eye tube. So this is a Crosley Model 9-407. 175 watt. Oh, 260. What? 285 watts? Geez, that's the same amount of power as a full color set. A full RCA CTC 35 color set, 16. I think this is probably also a 12 LP4, 12 JP4. It's the same as a 12 LP4, right? Well, yeah, look at the size of the transformer. That is a 300 watt transformer. 165 watts or whatever on FM. It's got a Motorola tube in it. It is lighting up. You can see it right there. See if there's any more hope for this one than the last one. Up, a little cutoff. Ooh, and good emissions. Well, not good. I wouldn't say we're brand new, but that thing's ready to go. It's good CRT in this one. Good CRT. Another correction here on the Crosley is like a Dumont. The continuous tuning set is like a Dumont, not a Raytheon. I don't know where that came from, but you need to offer up the correction that it's like a Dumont set. Take a break from the TVs for a minute while my nose resets and take a look at some other things that came with the package here. So we got some transistor radios, a Nobility 12, right? Yeah, we really need 12 transistors. Oh yeah, just pack them in there, baby. Just pack them in there. Look at that. That is absolutely totally freaking ridiculous. Quality control approved. Kind of goes nice with that car horn in the background. Hey, here's another one right here. Ooh. Let's open this up. Oh yeah, it's a duplicate, except it's red. Yeah, just pack them in, you know. There's diodes, there's... Let's see, what's the... 19358, 13390. So they made quite a few of these. Distinctively styled. Now, Hong Kong. Sony. Deluxe. Gotta wonder about that. Oh yes, that certainly is deluxe, isn't it? Someone made a guitar amp out of it. What is this? NASCAR FRS radio? Although I thought FRS radios could not have a detachable antenna. I thought that was part of the design of FRS. Well, this is interesting. I'm not familiar with this. Frequency range 849. It's an 800 megahertz radio? I am not familiar with this. So this Radio Shack deal is just a scanner, an analog scanner. So frequency range 25 to 54, 108 to 136, 137 to 174, 406 to 512, 806 to 823, 849. So it skips what was the old analog cellular band, the A block and B block amps cellular. Yeah, it's just an old school scanner. Had a lot of fun with these when I was a kid, but you know, everything's digital now. Continuing on, we have a little CRT here. This looks very high hour. Look at the discoloration. This was probably changed. It's probably a scope tube. It was probably changed. Instructa kits. So was this a kit radio somebody built? It's got those racist white epoxy dome transistors in it. This might be worth trying to get to work as it like disintegrates in my hand. Have a soft spot for kits. General Electric. Get this one open, and Skymaster. This is an early GE. Look at this. Boy, somebody really enjoyed turning those IF transformers. Look at that one right there. It's broken. This would be a fun project to try and... Damn, how much did they turn the screws in the back more than the knobs on the front? This would be fun to resurrect, wouldn't it? What a basket case. Alright, here's the Skymaster. 6 transistors. Pretty typical. With our mega large print schematic. Absolutely no values on the schematic. You just like gotta figure it out. This should be a yoke. Two hands. Welcome to Black Mold, everybody. Oh, it's not disintegrating. That's good, but it's got some white mold in there. Let's see, what is it? It is a DY10 direct viewing kinescopes requiring 65 to 70 degree deflection. Good to have these. Occasionally you get one that's open in a resurrection and you need to get a yoke in there to complete your resurrection. I've run into that before, so good thing to have. Another very old, beat down, left for dead AM radio that I thought would make a good video. This deserves another chance. It's a Philco. Oh man, the model sticker's eaten off. Well, if you know the model, let me know what it is so I can get service data on it. This is actually metal. I think I like the way the other one looks a little bit, but this one just needs to play again. That's all there is to it. This one might be, let's see if it says, if there's enough to, oh. Super, so it's a super heterodyne set. Yeah, if you know the model number, post it in the comments below so I can find a schematic. I could do it without a schematic, but it always helps to have a schematic, and I think it makes for better to have a schematic. Now here's another interesting one. This is Philco's first television they brought to market. I think it's a 48-600. So it's from 1948. I resurrected a 48-1001, which is a 10-inch. And that set was in bad shape. It was in bad shape. This is a little beat down. This uses a 7-inch electrostatic CRT. It's got the ventilated speaker, I can see, the cone-free speaker technology. I was talking to Bob Anderson about this. He's familiar with this set. I don't know if he's restored one or not. It sort of sounds like it. But there's one interesting thing about this set, which is the high voltage comes right off of the power transformer. This is like a microwave oven transformer, electric chair transformer. I think this has a secondary. This is a mains line transformer that has a secondary winding that puts out like 5,600 volts. You would not want to finger this. It would make carcass. All right. Ooh, Loctals in paradise. Look at that. Just a big row of Loctal tubes. Is that like asbestos or what is that? So here we have more of that glaze. This is a lot like the 48-1001. Ooh. Oh, yeah. That tuner, look at how clean that tuner is. The contacts on that tuner are just like polished and bright and ready to roll. Jeez. Yeah. Of course, to me, the CRTs don't really matter on these because I have a bunch of these 7 JP4s around here that are good. So, but I think this is the big guy right here. This big guy here gets 90%. If this is no good, because like I said, this produces the high voltage. This doesn't have a flyback or a high voltage generator. It comes right off the mains transformer. So if that was no good, this thing would probably not be resurrectable. Oh, there we go. It's a model 48700. Electrostatic. All right, next to the last, a portable Motorola. I actually have one of these. It's really low hour in mint condition, so maybe this handle is to see how conveniently far you can throw it for the EOL. You know, it's just kind of like, just hold it by your side and just shot put. It's like a shot put handle. You just launch it. Anyway, these are cool. Say yes to plastic. Let's open it up, and again, what's this one have? Two screws in it? Two of the screws are there. Yeah, the sun is kind of screwing up my lighting, but looks like the asbestos resistors have been changed in this one. It's Motorola. This is made in America. 12 TS 491. That's the chassis number. Let's see if we could find a number on the cigar tube. 12 BKP4 or DEP4. 12 BKP4. Well, this is a DEP because the other socket is this one. This is the DEP socket. All right. These things are just baked. It is glowing. It is deader than a motorcycle rider on the LA freeway system. I just cannot imagine the amount of hours that this thing has on it. And maybe it does show it with the amount of spooge deposited on the... But look at this. Look at how dead this is. Look at that. That's it. That's all she got. I'm going to come back to the Sears, the little Sears set with the same socket and settings. Ooh, a lot of S's there. And see what we get on this set. This is another one that's setting new levels of cleanliness and hygiene standards right here. So geez, man, this is like low budget CRT. Jeez. Okay. First thing we want to do is plug this on here. I need 2 hands. Okay, it looks like it's a 6-volt filament CRT, and I'm up a little bit high because I had cranked that other one up. Oh yeah. Let's go to the appropriate filament voltage. Well, this one would at least produce a picture. It wouldn't be great. Set the cutoff where they want it set. Yeah, this one is resurrectable. Wonder if this one uses a 6LX8. That lovely tube that doesn't like to start oscillating. So I'm doing this test with a Packard Bell set and color set, and it was pretty much new old stock when we started, and basically got an hour meter on it. I'm trying to see get an idea what a high hour set is, and you know, I'm up almost to 5,000 hours on that thing now, and it hasn't shown really that much degradation. And I just wonder, you know, how many hours is on this for this to be that dead? It's not an open cathode, it's just dead. So I wonder how many hours are on this set to... Yeah, we almost need to sacrifice a black and white too, get an hour meter on one of these and just run it, one that's in good shape, and document everything that goes wrong with it. Because when I see stuff like this, I still have no idea how many hours are on this. You know, is it 10,000, 20,000, 50,000? How many hours does it take to run a CRT down to where it's just almost zero emission? And I know once it starts to fall, it doesn't fall like this. It falls like this, and then when it falls off quickly. It's got like a hard knee drop to it. When they start going, they go quick. But anyway, all right, we got one more. Sorry, we got one more piece of test equipment and then one more TV. Graphoscope. Did I do that enough? See everybody get the picture there? All right, I'm getting stupid now. Has seen better days. I don't know, it's probably on that Oscilloscope museum. Okay, here we go. Here is the data plate. Oh, this is the same company. So this is probably the higher end one. 126A. Let me look that up. Where is the other phone? Okay, here's looks like a restoration documentation on EEV blog, but all the pictures are gone. So I guess I could read this. This is pretty thorough. This would be a good thing to go off of. Worth point. Ooh, myvintagetv.com. See what we get here. myvintagetv.com. Well, Radio Museum says 1939, so 2 years newer than the little 1-inch one. It's too bad the front is missing, though, because that's what makes it look cool, and that's kind of the little, like, portal thing on the front. But I don't know, maybe we'll play with this someday. Maybe it'll become a boat anchor for a submarine. Who knows? Now, this is the last, and this is another Crosley, and this is like the early RCA. Does this have channel 1? It does not have channel 1. The RCA had channel 1. This was sitting on top of the Norelco Duo View when I picked it up. And I have a feeling this might have been connected to the Norelco. I'll show you why. This right here. I have a feeling this was connected to the Norelco Duo View. So yeah, this was obviously spliced in to the Duo View, and this has got the high-tech coneless speaker also. Oh boy. There's the presidential sampler platter right there. Look at that. Ooh, baby. Look at that. Look at that buildup. Wow. Can you imagine the flavor right there? The flavor that's packed in. This is a new See's Candy special right here. Look at that. Just take a putty knife, and what a delicacy. Take a putty knife and scrape that off. Maybe fry it up in a little butter. Ooh, wow. All right, let's get in here. All right. We have missing vacuum bulbs. Let's test the CRT. This should be a 10 BP4. The top pulls off on this. I don't know why I forgot that. Ooh, look at that. Crusty. Corrody glaze. Let's see what we get here. You would not anticipate anything good, but, well, that's why we test. No cutoff. That's the emission. So obviously they use this with the Norelco after the CRT died, I would imagine. and then when they took it out of service, started pulling tubes out of it. So this is sort of a lost cause, I think. Yeah, anything could be resurrected, but at some point, it's like... Drop a comment and let me know what you'd like to see resurrected or worked on first. I'm going to have to pack all this stuff into an outbuilding. There's just too many flavor crystals for this to be kept anywhere near the living quarters. So I'll probably be doing that soon. So yeah, drop a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see worked on first. My preference would be the old tube radios and maybe one or two of those portables and oscilloscopes. The old wood 10-inch, 12-inch TVs, those are going to be really in-depth resurrection that I don't have time to get into right now. We might be able to knock this Packard Bell out real quick. This is pretty simple. If everything's good, we could probably pop that one out in a day or two, get it resurrected. I was also hoping for debates, and I don't think they're going to allow debates. You know, one of my favorite things to do is kind of use the time pressure constraint of resurrecting a set and having it ready for a debate that night, a presidential, vice presidential debate. You know, just set a timeline for myself. I start on this thing in the morning. It has to be working by the time the debate comes on in the evening, and that added like an interesting level of pressure to actually make something happen. But it doesn't look like they're going to allow debates this time. They're going to find some way to shut them down. I mean, yeah, that's all obvious. But anyway, like I said, let me know what you like. Of course. What is this thing? It's a...
I'll tell you, you know what's really valuable? I called up...
Graphoscope.
There you go. I called up Carl, but he was busy loading some cars on a transporter center. Because these car radios with all the heads and the cables, that goes back into...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that goes back into the early to mid-30s.
Oh, these are the type of things right here that make me moist.
What's that?
These plastic.
The plastic TV?
Uh-huh.
I thought the vintage shit would be the stuff that gets you excited.
Well, it all gets me excited, but plastic.
This is the bottom of that projection set over there.
Ooh, okay, I missed these. Now we're gonna have to get a mop over here to clean up the wetness.
It's funny, the stuff that excites you. I thought the other stuff would be...
Well, it all excites me, but this is the cherry that pops right here. Why? Because
Crosley, to me, is terrific.
Say yes to plastic, baby.
Crosley on the bottom?
Wow, the backs are still on them? Ooh, boy. Just need a forklift.
Two of us can handle it.
And this stuff literally came out of a barn?
Literally.
A barn. There's a barn in L.A.?
No, it's not in L.A.
Oh, okay.
It's a barn. It's actually over in the hills on the way to Riverside, like around Garupa, like, what the fuck is that little town? Think of it later on.
Oh, this one's in prime condition. Ooh. Black plastic crap time. Deluxe.
The deal's $400 for the TVs. I'll throw those two little guys in. Yeah, for nothing. Just take them with everything else. And I figured 50 on the portable, on the radios. These fucking TVs are rare. The one that really gets me excited is this little Philco right here, and the Crosley.
Yeah. Well, they'll have a good home. All right.
I don't think it's a farm radio. Or Or maybe I don't see a transformer. Maybe you're right, but it just looks like somebody cut the fucking cord off. That's what I think happened.
I believe. Is this a transformer right here?
Maybe. Yeah, it looks like it is.
Let's see the front of it.
It's an RCA.
It had the speaker that, what do they call those, electrodynamic or something?
Electromagnetic speakers.
Let's see the back again. Sure. Wow, look at that. Oh, it's a General Electric. Here, turn it on. T12.
It smells like an RCA. It is an RCA.
It smells like an RCA.
But RCA made most of these for GE, especially in Canada.
You're right. It's 125 volts. Wow. That is just so horrible. I might have to buy it. God.